Hi, welcome to the Left Independent. I'm Mike, the Left Independent, and yeah, shit is hitting the fan big time. Caligula Drumpf announced on his social media platform Lie Social, where truth goes to die, that he has hit three Iranian nuclear sites. So let's go ahead and get right to the articles here because, yeah, this is going to be pretty bad. So this is apnews.com. U.S. has struck three Iranian nuclear sites, Caligula Drumpf says, joining Israeli air campaign. Washington. U.S. dictator Caligula Drumpf said Saturday that the United States military struck three sites in Iran, directly joining Israel's effort to decapitate the country's nuclear program in a risky gambit to weaken a longtime foe amid Tehran's non-existent threat of reprisals at, well, I mean, non-existent of nuclear, but it's the reprisals are coming. Obviously, they have to. Amid Iran's threat of reprisals that could spark a wider regional conflict. There was no immediate acknowledgement from Iran of any strikes being carried out, although we will see that acknowledgement has come, as you'll see in a minute. It says the decision to directly involve the United States in the war comes after more than a week of strikes by Israel on Iran that have moved to systematically eradicate the country's air defenses and offensive missile capabilities. Of course, the reverse has proven to be true. Israel has had its own air defenses depleted and suffered devastating damage to Tel Aviv, Haifa, Mossad headquarters, military sites hidden, of course, among civilian infrastructure. So Israel's been getting hit hard, and Caligula Drumpf said he would make a decision within 2 weeks. Well, obviously, that was another lie. Investigative journalist Seymour Hersh wrote an article that was published yesterday or the day before saying that the strikes would be carried out this weekend, and obviously it's a weekend, so here they are. So it says, like I said, the decision to directly involve the United States in the war comes after more than a week of strikes by Israel on Iran that have moved to systematically eradicate the country's air defenses and offensive missile capabilities while damaging its nuclear enrichment facilities. But U.S. and Israeli officials have said that American stealth bombers and the 30,000-pound bunker buster bomb they alone can carry offered the best chance of destroying heavily fortified sites connected to the Iranian nuclear program buried deep underground, which is actually for civilian purposes, and everyone knows that, including Israel. Uh, Drumpf said, "We have completed our very successful attack." Yeah, sure. On the three nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordo, Natanz, and Esfahan, Drumpf said in a post on social media. All planes are now outside of Iran airspace. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordo. All planes are safely on their way home. Drumpf added in a later post that he would address the nation at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, writing, "This is a historic moment for the United States of America, Israel, and the world. Iran must now agree to end this war. Thank you." Why does he always say thank you? It's not like he needs permit. It's not like he's ever grateful. Um, Drumpf said B-2 stealth bombers were used, but did not specify which types of bombs were dropped. The White House and Pentagon did not immediately elaborate on the operation. And of course, I'll link to this in the chat. So let me go ahead and do that now. Nope, looks like I can't do that on stage. Yeah, so yeah, you'll see this in the description. But let me go ahead and go to Armchair Warlord. He says, extreme fog of war right now. Gee, you think? Official and unofficial disinformation operations are going to be working at warp speed. Practice informational hygiene. I'll be back later. Good advice, though, because there's a lot of confusion and misinformation and disinformation flying left and right. So as always, wait until you get some kind of credible news source on all this, because otherwise you might end up spreading rumors, and that's the worst thing that can happen in a war, especially if you're fighting for your survival. So yeah, just don't don't spread anything, unless you can actually verify it. Um, OSINT Technical. This is on Twitter, of course, so take this with a grain of salt. But it says reports out of Iran right now, some of the most heavy wide spectrum jamming of the war, radios, GPS, and cell all experience heavy degradation, most likely U.S. electronic warfare supporting strikes. Very likely two carriers worth of Navy EA-18G growlers making themselves heard. And of course, you can go ahead and read this over on Twitter. OSINT Technical. So yeah, you can go ahead and read that. Dan Cohen writes, Drumpf has just handed Iran justification to obliterate U.S. military installations used to attack its sovereign territory. If and when Iran responds, the blood of U.S. military personnel will be on his hands. No to war on Iran. And that's true. If you think Iran is not going to retaliate after this, you're living in a dream world. It has the ability to retaliate, and it will. It has no other options. It's under attack. Its very existence as a nation is under threat, just as Russia's existence was threatened by Nazi Ukraine on its border. So yeah, and Putin actually warned of consequences if the U.S. hits Iranian nuclear sites, because there are something like 200 Russian scientists working in Iran, helping with the nuclear energy program. And Putin said specifically, do not strike while our people are in the country, otherwise this will be considered an attack on Russian citizens. Monitor X says destroying Fordo with one sortie is impossible even per U.S. assessments. So unless the United States somehow flew multiple sorties without being noticed, or used a large amount of B-2s and dropped dozens of GBU-57s, Fordo is likely intact. This could just be a very big media show with no result. Let's pray that it is, because if it's not, yeah, it's going to be bad. And then at 8:58 p.m., so just over an hour ago, breaking Iranian state TV presenter displaying a map of U.S. bases in the Middle East. They're definitely a legitimate target, U.S. bases for Iran. Mr. President of the United States, you started it, and we will finish it. So let's go ahead and
من هدف مشروع ایران هستم. آمریکا با این اقدامی که انجام داد علیه ایران و حریم هوایی ایران را شکست و جنایت علیه ایران انجام داد، دیگه جایی در منطقه غرب آسیا نداره. آقای رئیس جمهور آمریکا، شما شروع کردید و ما تمومش خواهیم کرد.
Yeah, and then of course Thomas Keith reports Iranian sources now confirm Fordo is intact. Only 2 munitions struck surface level access point. I mean, it's 80 meters underground, so that's not a surprise. No deep penetration, no cascade collapse, no reactor kill. Fordo was built to withstand nuclear war. A single flyby doesn't erase hardened bunkers buried 80 meters deep behind reinforced mountain rock. If this wasn't a successful strike, it was a narrative op aimed at markets, voters, and momentum, but the physics of Fordo don't bend to spin. So yeah, this is pretty catastrophic. So yeah, let me go ahead and call up the article in question. So this is on Reuters. Russia tells the United States not to strike Iran, warns of nuclear catastrophe. This was from June 18th, 2025. It is now the 21st. St. Peter's, freaking pop-ups. All right, so. All right, well, I'm not going to be able to read all of this because it says, yeah, it's behind a paywall, but I'll go ahead and post this on my Twitter along with the AP article. But it says St. Petersburg, Russia. Russia is telling the United States not to strike Iran because it would radically destabilize the Middle East. Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei, I'm going to try not to mangle this, Ryabkov said on Wednesday, and Moscow said is Israeli strikes risk triggering a nuclear catastrophe. Russia signed a strategic partnership with Iran in January and also has a relationship with Israel, although it's been strained by Moscow's war in Ukraine. A Russian offer to mediate in the Israel-Iran conflict has not been taken up. Ryabkov, speaking on the sidelines of an economic forum in St. Petersburg, told Interfax news agency Moscow was urging Washington to refrain from direct involvement. This would be a step that would radically destabilize the entire situation. Interfax cited Ryabkov as saying and criticizing such speculative conjectural options. So, yeah, and again, like I said, this is because of the Russian scientists who are in the nation. But like I said, this is a situation where uh, you just are not going to see Iran not retaliate. This is an existential war for Tehran, much like with the Ukraine proxy war against Russia. It is existential in nature, and Iran's fighting for its very survival. So let's go ahead and go to Twitter once again, because that's where the most immediate stuff is coming. Oh shit, it's not letting me. All right, so I'm going to have to show my entire screen then. All right, so this is from Leading Report. It says breaking Iranian state TV is now promising retaliation. Again, this is common sense. Obviously, it's going to retaliate. For those interested, receipts, a news anchor said on Iranian state television, Mr. Drumpf, you started it and we will end it. The broadcast showed a large graphic of American bases in the Middle East with the headline within the fire range of Iran. Considering its missiles have shown the ability to travel at least 2,000 kilometers, yeah, and they've been hitting Israel pretty hard. So this really is one of the stupidest moves that Trump could have made. We know he's a neoconservative. We know he's always been hot for war with Iran. The reason he tore up the JCPOA agreement that Barry Obama had negotiated back in 2015, 2016, that got Iran to agree to reduce its uranium enrichment to like I think it was something like 3% or 1.5%, something like that. Drumpf tore it up and walked away from it because he knew that staying within that agreement would mean that there would be less plausible justification for launching the attack on Iran that he had planned, and which got derailed by 4 years of senile kitty molester Joe Biden in the White House. So now he's back on track with his agenda to destroy Iran, but it's been 4 years. Iran's been using that 4 years to build up its defenses. I mean, last year, after Israel attacked Iran unprovoked with targeted assassinations to take out Iranian military and civilian leaders, Iran fired missiles into Israel that demonstrated that the so-called Iron Dome missile defense shield was made out of paper. And for the past week or so now, Iran has been pummeling Israel. It's been hitting Tel Aviv. It's done damage to Haifa oil refinery. It's hit the Mossad headquarters, Mossad being the Israeli intelligence agency. It's hit military bases, and it's doing real damage. And Iran has only been using its older stock. It's got newer stuff that hasn't even really brought out to the fore yet. But now with the United States having officially entered the war without a declaration of war, by the way, this is blatantly illegal. Because according to the United States Constitution, only the United States Congress has the power to declare war and authorize military action, which it has not done. So Drumpf is just acting unilaterally without Congress. Not that Congress is actually doing shit, but it's supposed to. So this is a gross violation of the Constitution. Drumpf knows it's a gross violation. Congress knows it's a gross violation. Of course, John Fetterman was posting on his Twitter page that he's fully behind this war, and I went ahead, of course, and responded calling him a Nazi, which he is, and saying that the coming slaughter of United States personnel is going to be on his head, and that he's a war criminal and he should be in prison. They all should be. I cannot begin to tell you just how disastrous this is going to be. Not just for Iran and its citizens, because they're going to be taking the brunt of a lot of shit that's coming over the next coming days and weeks. But it's also going to be disastrous for Israel. It's going to be disastrous for U.S. military personnel in the region. We've got a comment here. So let's go ahead and show this. General Meow Meow says they might call for impeachment, but that's either not going to happen or it will be theater. There's way too much money getting ready to roll in for another 10-year war. I concur. I absolutely concur with you on that, because impeachment should be what the immediate response from Congress, but Congress has long been captured by the neoconservatives. They only impeach when they think that Drumpf might actually make peace with Russia, even though he's never made any actual moves to make peace with Russia, but they did try to impeach him over that. So they failed over that, but they're not going to try to impeach him over his attack against Iran, because Congress is loaded with neoconservatives and Israel firsters. Our Congress doesn't represent the American people; it represents Israel, a nation that is right now, as I speak, committing genocide against the indigenous population, whose lands it's illegally occupying. They're all on board with that. So, this is, this is not going to be a war that's going to last 10 years. So, I doubt it'll last even 1 year, because the United States, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your point of view, is too degraded. Its military capacity is degraded. Its hardware is outdated and lagging behind Russia's and China's, and also Iran's. Its personnel have been decimated by repeat COVID infections. So something like 25% of the United States military has been permanently disabled by COVID, and we refuse to vaccinate our personnel. Do the math. You've got brain damaged soldiers going into a theater of operations who are going to be suffering brain fog, who can barely pilot a ship. And our main carrier that's in the region is a 50-year-old aircraft carrier that was scheduled to be decommissioned next year, the USS Nimitz. If you think Iran is not going to shut down the Strait of Hormuz and that it can't maintain that blockade indefinitely, you're living in a fucking dream world. The United States has directly attacked Iran. It has no reason not to shut down the Strait of Hormuz, and no reason not to fire upon any American ship trying to break that blockade. This is war. The United States and Israel started it. Iran is going to finish it, one way or another. Because even if Israel decides to launch its nuclear weapons, which I wouldn't put it past them, they're just that psychopathic. But if it does, then Iran's just going to fire all of its remaining stores at Israel and take Israel down with it. So Israel will cease to be. It will be wiped off the map. That's not hyperbole. It's what's likely to happen, because Iran will have been left no choice. So My God, this is a fucking nightmare. I don't know what else to say, man. That this is just complete bullshit. It's yeah. Let me go ahead and post the article. Yeah. So this is the Reuters article, and let me go ahead and put the link to the article from AP into chat. All right. So these are the basically the news that we can actually confirm. I'm kind of hesitant to show anything from Twitter because, again, fog of war and a lot of rumors flying about, conspiracy fantasies, uh, stuff from armchair warriors who pretend to know a lot of shit but really don't. So there's. All right, so let's call up a couple of people who actually do know what they're talking about. Just waiting for my browser because, of course, it has to operate slowly. I don't have stable internet, as you probably know, and probably am not going to have stable internet until or unless I find stable employment and can afford a better connection. But Richard Medhurst just posted a few minutes ago, said, "I will mop the floor with anyone on the Iran nuclear deal JCPOA. This is one of the topics I am the most well versed in and spent years covering on the ground. There is no weapons program." And of course, Tulsi Gabbard testified as early as March of this year, uh, reiterating what U.S. intelligence agencies have been saying since 2005, that Iran is not developing a nuclear weapons program, stopped all weapons development in 2003 because the Ayatollah does not believe in nuclear weapons and doesn't want them in his country. So this was a peaceful nuclear energy program. Everyone knows it. Drumpf knows it. Netanyahu knows it. But they want to ensure that Israel is the only nuclear power in the region, and that's all this is about. Uh, so Medhurst says it's honestly beyond scandalous watching the media repeat Trump's claims unchallenged that Trump had given Iran 60 days when Iran had given him and the United States 7 years after he ripped up the JCPOA, or that Iran was weeks away from building a nuke. Then we've got Caitlin Johnstone saying, really not looking forward to all the melodramatic victim LARPing after Iran kills U.S. military personnel stationed in the Middle East. The U.S. is the only nation on earth that can rival Israel in its ability to play the victim when the ball they throw at the wall bounces back. And of course, someone says mostly peaceful bombing. Is this now the time for peace? Well, obviously no, because you made it clear that you only want war. And Ben Norton, of course, actually, let's actually just go to this first in the thread. Says Caligula Drumpf launched direct United States air strikes on Iran after helping Israel start the war of aggression. Tehran vowed to retaliate. It could hit some of the 40,000 U.S. soldiers and dozens of U.S. military bases in the region. The U.S. is officially at war with Iran, although it's not a declared war, and it should have been. But Congress, of course, like I said, will not do its job. Iran is vowed to retaliate, and after Drumpf's attack, it has many potential targets. The U.S. had at least 40,000 troops in West Asia as of June 13th. Soldiers, not troops. A troop is a group of soldiers, so let's not misuse that word. So known U.S. bases are in Bahrain, Djibouti, Egypt, Iraq, Israel, Jordan, Kuwait, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Syria, Turkey, and the United Arab Emirates, or UAE. And then, of course, journalist Seymour Hersh. And I'll go ahead and call up that article in just a minute. But Seymour Hersh was correct. He reported Friday, June 20th, that Drumpf would wait to bomb Iran until the weekend because he didn't want major volatility in the capital markets. Yeah, futile maneuver because this is going to cause disruption in the markets no matter what. So Drumpf waited until Wall Street was closed, then he attacked. An hour after he boasted of bombing Iran, Drumpf posted a JPEG of the U.S. flag with no comment. This is quite appropriate because the United States is worldwide seen as a symbol of war, violence, and empire. So let's go to that Substack article by Seymour Hersh. And I'm just going to restack that real quick. It says, what I've been told is coming in Iran. This report on what is most likely to happen in Iran as early as this weekend, according to Israeli insiders and American officials I've relied upon for decades. It will entail heavy American bombing. I vetted this report with a longtime U.S. official in Washington who told me that all will be under control if Iran's supreme leader Ali Khamenei departs. Just how that might happen short of his assassination is not known. There has been a great deal of talk about American firepower and targets inside Iran, but little practical thinking, as far as I can tell, about how to remove a revered religious leader with an enormous following. I've reported from afar on the nuclear and foreign policy of Israel for decades. My 1991 book, The Samson Option, told the story of the making of the Israeli nuclear bomb and America's willingness to keep the project secret. The most important unanswered question about the current situation will be the response of the world, including that of Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, who has been an ally of Iran's leaders. The United States, and let's go ahead and crying out loud. All right, so this is behind a paywall. It says the United States remains Israel's most important ally, although many here and around the world abhor Israel's continuing murderous war on Gaza. The Drumpf regime is in full support of Israel's current plan to rid Iran of any trace of a nuclear weapons program, while hoping the Ayatollah-led government in Tehran will be overthrown. That's not going to happen. If you seriously think that this is going to happen, you're fucking deluded. Because what's going to be coming is Iran will retaliate. Not only will it continue to hit Israel, depleting its air defenses and hitting key military and intelligence targets so as to cripple its ability to wage war, it will also now be hitting United States military bases, vehicles, personnel. If it doesn't shut down the Strait of Hormuz, then the people in Tehran are fucking stupid. They just are, if they don't close down the strait. But they're going to have to, because obviously they cannot allow United States military warships to get in order to launch a ground invasion. I doubt that they'll even be allowed to get anywhere near the strait. Iranian missiles have so far shown an ability to travel at least 2,000 kilometers. So, I don't doubt for a moment that we're going to see something along that line happen, because and let's go ahead and let's go ahead and call this up while we go ahead and wait for screens to load. All right, so yeah, this is all right. So this is from 1945.com. It says, forget the Houthis, Iran could sink a U.S. Navy aircraft carrier. This was published back in March, specifically March 31st, 2025, by Steve Balistrieri. Summary and key points. Tensions between the United States and Iran are rising sharply as Iranian-backed Houthi forces, it's doubtful that the Houthis are acting under orders from Iran. They don't need Iran to tell them to defend Gazans. But Houthi forces in Yemen continue attacking merchant ships and targeting U.S. Navy vessels in the Red Sea, With advanced Iranian missiles and potential Russian assistance, there's a significant risk that Iran could successfully strike or even sink a U.S. aircraft carrier. Caligula Drumpf's regime warns it will directly hold Iran accountable for further Houthi aggression. Well, it's not aggression. Houthis are defending Gazans as they're undergoing a genocide. That's not aggression, that is defense. So to mitigate risk, the U.S. Navy might reposition carriers to safer waters, increase targeted airstrikes on Iranian assets, which it's doing, and even consider a direct strike against Iran if attacks escalate. But can Iran or hit or sink a U.S. Navy aircraft carrier? The United States has pre-positioned B-2 Spirit stealth bombers on Diego Garcia. The U.S. traditionally has tried to treat Iran with kid gloves in the mistaken hope that they would like us. Well, no, that's not the case at all. This guy's a fucking idiot, but even a stop clock can, of course, tell the correct time at least once a day, depending on if it's a 12 or 24-hour clock. So let me go ahead and post some links here so you can go ahead and read this as you will. Oh, come on. Freaking knock it off. Sorry, my browser is being a jerk. Let's go ahead and call this up. Okay, this is from the National Interest. And this is from last year. It says the unthinkable, a U.S. Navy aircraft carrier could be sunk by Iran's missiles. Iranian state media reported the development of the Talayeh. I forget. I don't know how to pronounce this. So I am going to mangle words in foreign languages. I do not speak anything but English and bad English, so I do apologize for the mispronunciations, but I'm just warning you right now. So it says a long-range cruise missile with a range exceeding 600 miles and the ability to switch targets mid-flight. And as we've seen from the last week's worth of events, Iran's got missiles that can travel 2,000 kilometers at least. So yeah, this is this is going to be pretty interesting. So it says, additionally, the shorter-range Nasser missile can be launched from warships. Incidents like the attack on the Norwegian-owned tanker Strinda highlight the growing threat of Iranian-backed groups using anti-ship missiles in strategic waterways. And then from the Center for Security Policy, this is from February last year, but it's originally published by the National Interest. But it says Iran has a shot at sinking a U.S. Navy aircraft carrier. So yeah, this is this is not outside the realm of possibility. And Drumpf, by deciding to launch an attack against Iran directly, has not only brought the United States directly into yet another unprovoked war of aggression against a sovereign nation in the Middle East, but this is one that can actually fight back and make any victory a costly one for both the United States and especially for Israel. Now, last year's strikes by Israel assassinating key Iranian personnel who were then promptly replaced showed that they're vulnerable. All right, General Meow Meow says, doesn't Iran have hypersonics? It does. It's been launching hypersonics. So, yeah, this is another thing. Iran has demonstrated it has hypersonic missiles that can evade anti-aircraft anti-missile defense systems. So if you think for one moment that U.S. naval vessels are going to survive a barrage from Iran, you're living in a dream world. You're detached from all reality. I mean, this is something that is going to result in major losses for not just Israel, but the United States as well. If Iran takes down a U.S. aircraft carrier, that's going to be an incredibly demoralizing blow. When was the last time the United States lost a naval vessel in battle? And I'm not just talking taking damage. I'm like the USS Liberty was in international waters monitoring the situation during the Six-Day War between Israel and its neighbors that saw it take the West Bank and Gaza Strip and Golan Heights, where Israel directly and deliberately attacked the USS Liberty, hoping to sink it, but failed to do so. But hundreds of sailors were killed or injured, and this was a war crime that was never officially acknowledged or punished. Once Israel realized that it could destroy that it could attack a U.S. naval vessel in international waters without consequence, that was pretty much it. So, this is this is not going to go over well at all. It's going to be a situation where we're going to lose major personnel and major hardware. We might even see a naval vessel like the Nimitz sunk, which may explain why that was dispatched and not one of the newer carriers, because a 50-year-old carrier that was already due for decommissioning anyway, not as much of a technological loss as one of the newer vessels. But there's still the personnel on that ship who are going to end up dying for no good reason. Okay, and we've got Andre coming in. Andre, how are you?
What's up, man? Oh shit, man! Goddamn, I fell asleep.
Hey, it
We
happens, man. Don't worry, you're here. Better late than never. But yeah, we've got major shit going down, and it is not good. Uh, we've got the U.S. attacking Iran directly. I've already covered most of this, but uh, there's a very real possibility that Iran could actually sink U.S. naval vessels in the region.
oh
So,
shit.
yeah, we're talking majorly damage that could be used to demoralize us, which might explain why the USS Nimitz was dispatched to the area and not a newer vessel, because the Nimitz is 50 years old. It was scheduled for a decommissioning for next year.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
from a technological standpoint, uh, if that gets sunk and sent to the bottom of the ocean, it's not as big a deal as it would be if it were a newer vessel. But just that it would result in massive loss of life of U.S. personnel.
yeah,
That
yeah.
that would be that would be quite an escalation. That I would not be surprised to see Israel or the United States try and launch a tactical nuclear weapon.
Oh boy. But I have a question though, Mike. Um, that's do you think that if they do launch a nuclear weapon, do you think it's the end of the world? Do you think it's the end of the world as they know it,
Uh,
or shit is like wow?
I am not at liberty to make any kind of guesses. If nukes
Okay.
come into play, then Israel's going down.
Oh yeah, that's true. I totally
Iran will
agree with
launch
that.
everything it has remaining at the time it has and take down Israel to go down with it. If it
Yeah,
comes down to it, that's what's most likely going to happen. But here's the
yeah,
thing Vladimir Putin already warned the United States not to attack Iran nuclear facilities,
yeah. I remember that. Yeah,
threatening that it would destabilize the Middle East and cause a nuclear catastrophe. But there is also something like 200 Russian scientists who've been in Iran helping Iran with its nuclear project. And
yeah,
as far as anyone knows, they are still in Iran. So if the United States does continue to attack the country and any Russian personnel get hit, Russia's very likely to enter the war. It might decide, you know what, we're just going to finish a job in Ukraine the hard way, meaning Ukraine might get nuked because the
damn.
president will have been set. But I don't think it'll be nuked, but I do think Russia will take advantage of the situation to finish a job in Ukraine, while offering logistical intelligence and supplies to Iran.
Yeah. But hey,
And
Mike,
China's
Mike,
also had an intelligence ship in the region, keeping tabs on what's going on. I don't doubt for a minute that China will also be supplying its own intelligence and weapon supplies as well.
right. Yeah. But Mike, remember the Tucker Carlson interview when Ted Cruz said that he said the US was attacking Iran, but he said but Israel was doing it. So now it's official. That's the only difference.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Well, Cruz is the
oh,
kind of
it's-
guy that people have actually said with a straight face and meant it that you could kill Ted Cruz on the floor of the Senate and pretty much everyone would clap rather than call in police.
yeah,
He is that
yeah,
hated. Uh,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So General Meow Meow says, "I'm calling it. Mark your history books. Some say World War III started with Ukraine. I say it starts today, full swing. I hope not. Certainly, this is a wider regional war.
Yeah, yeah,
If World War
man.
III starts, that'll be nuclear holocaust. That's it. Say
It's
goodbye to
over.
the human
Yeah,
race. Nuclear winter. Nobody's
yeah.
getting out.
That's why that was what I was saying earlier. Like if if it gets to that point, like humanity is over. Like, oh boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if anyone thinks that China and Russia are going to let Iran fall, they're out of their minds.
Yeah.
They can't afford to let Iran fall, regardless of how Iran has treated China and Russia. There are legitimate reasons why Iran has done some of the things it's done over the last dozen or so years. It's tried to be the regional power outside of Tel Aviv. Uh, because once Iraq was destroyed in 2003 when the U.S. invaded, uh, again another unprovoked invasion. But once Iraq fell, Iran basically became the dominant Muslim country within the region. Although Saudi Arabia has spent the last 20 or so years trying to maintain its status as the preeminent Middle Eastern nation outside of Israel. But that's basically been slipping. MBS, Mohammed bin Salman, he is not his father. He never has been. He's more been of a conniver rather than any actual political genius. So, he's the kind of guy who's really out to, keep his own ass from getting decapitated. But as far
Right.
as offering support to the United States, I would understand if he decided to lend further support to Israel and the U.S. By letting them use Saudi Arabia as a vehicle through which to, but basically, to launch airplanes, fighter jets, bombers, transport supplies to refuel Israel's vehicles and also U.S. vehicles. I could honestly see them doing that, but at the same time, I could also see Saudi Arabia deciding, you know what, fuck off. Because if you
Yeah.
don't
That's
think that Saudi Arabia is next on the list after Iran falls, you're out of your goddamn mind. Geographically, it's much closer to Israel. It is the site of
hey.
Mecca, the holiest place in Islam.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mecca is to Islam what Jerusalem is to Jews and Christians.
Yeah. So
So
they could go.
obviously, you're not going to have Saudi Arabia uh, do anything more than try to sit on the fence.
Yeah.
But it's going to have to
Yeah.
take a side at some point, and that's going to be the side that keeps MBS alive and in power. So we'll see
Exactly.
which one that happens to be.
Yeah. Man. Um. Yeah. Um. Wow. Holy shit. When that orange fuck said a 2 week deadline, I didn't mean a 2 week notice. I ain't mean like what
Yeah,
five
he
days
said that
ago,
the
five
decision will
days.
be made within the next 2 weeks. Of course, Drumpf was lying. He is always lying. There's never a time he's
Yeah.
telling the
Yeah.
truth.
Oh yeah. He a
Uh,
pathological
but
liar.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah, but Seymour Hersh had already reported yesterday that the United States was planning to attack this weekend, hoping that they can minimize disruption to the 2 weeks. He went 2 days. LOL. Yeah, no, you're right, General. Yeah,
Yeah.
2 days.
Yeah. Oh
Oh my
yeah.
God. But no, I mean this is like I was saying earlier. This is the, about the dumbest thing that Drumpf could have done. I mean, all he had to do is just let Israel take the consequences of its actions and been done with
Right.
it.
Right.
Because now they're both fully committed to a war to destroy Iran, which Iran is not going to go down without a fight. And
Right.
Iran is not Iraq circa 2003. It is much larger geographically in terms of population. Its military is much more disciplined. It's obviously proven that its missile defenses and offenses are up to the task.
Yep.
And if you think ground troops are getting by, think again. Because if
Yeah.
Iranian missiles can hit Israel from that far away and do the kind of damage that they've done to Israel in just over a week, think what they're going to do to uh, any aircraft that now fly into airspace.
Right.
Think what's going to happen to any ground movements, whether through Syria or some other country.
Oh yeah. And here's one thing too, Mike. Their military, man, they are actually fucking fighters, man. They're not no
Yeah,
fucking TikTok influencers like the United
yeah,
States troops and the fucking Israel IDF soldiers, man.
yeah,
Like
yeah. Israel and the United States are
motherfuckers.
used to killing unarmed civilians.
Exactly.
They
Like
haven't had to
motherfuckers.
fight actual warriors since Vietnam.
Yeah, motherfuckers coming home in body bags, man. You know the left
Yeah,
been
I mean,
saying this since this shit started.
yeah.
Like,
The only reason for the victory against Iraq during the first Gulf War in 1991 was because Iraq had already just come out of a 8 year long war with Iran. So its military was pretty much exhausted and depleted from years of war with its neighbor.
right,
And then, of course, in 2003, it was crippled even further by over a decade of sanctions and disarmament. So, that was pretty much a cakewalk. It doesn't mean that
yeah,
Iraq was an easy war because it went from a direct war to a guerrilla war, which the United States eventually had to give up and go home, except for a couple thousand soldiers who continue to be stationed there. But really, if Iraq decides, you know what, we're going to side with Iran, I mean, if you think their guerrilla fighters are not going to uh, take shots at U.S. and Israeli personnel trying to move through their country, think again.
yep, yeah, um, yeah, man. I was about to go live, but when I saw you, um,
I was waiting for you to start the stream, and then
yeah, I,
because I figured you were asleep or something,
yeah,
but yeah, I just had it to start it, and then I just invited whoever from chat to come join. So we may actually get some more guests in, depending on if they see the link and want to come in.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
I would like to get Dee Dee in here, actually, if she's online. Let's see if we can get her in
Oh yeah,
here.
oh hell yeah, yeah. Cause everybody talking about it right now, man. I'm looking at I'm looking on Twitter. Yeah, man. It's wow. Yeah, yeah. It's
Let's see if we can get her to come in. I'm going to send her a message right now. All right, so went ahead and sent her the message. So let's see if she gets it. but her most recent post was just about a minute ago, actually. So let's see if she'll come in.
Oh yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, because Dee Dee would be awesome.
Yeah, I always wanted to get her onto the A&M podcast, but I didn't think she saw it. Or I think yeah, I messaged her in the group chat about it, but I don't think she responds. So yeah, tonight it's a good time to for her to come. Yeah. Um, I mean, I have a question though. Do you think the DPRK will respond
Uh,
to in
I
this or
I don't know.
okay?
That is beyond my pay grade. It wouldn't surprise me if they offer, again, logistical support in the form of weapons and intelligence sharing. Uh, but right now, we simply don't know. I mean, things are happening and they're still evolving. So uh, I'm sure more information is going to come in. But don't trust anything you see on Twitter without actual verification from credible news sources.
Yeah,
There are
yeah. Remember?
few, but there
Yeah,
are uh, credible ones out there. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, just
Yeah.
if you see something on Twitter, take it with a grain of salt until you can actually verify through credible news sources. Because part of the problem with Twitter and really most of social media is
That's true.
people see stuff posted in the moment and they don't have time or the inclination to verify what they're seeing is actually true. I mean, Elon Muskrat was complaining that Grok was fed poor information with its learning model. He says uncorrected data, so he's going to try and reprogram Grok to lie better
Of course.
because
Of
apparently
course.
it's not handing the answers that he wants uh, whenever people ask Grok, is this true? And then it gives an actual honest answer. Cat Turd was like, Grok keeps reporting factual information about me. Make it stop.
Oh shit. Yeah, yeah, remember we talked about that. Yeah, one of our comrades, man, freaked the fuck out when she thought that Iran was gonna attack her state, I guess. And I'm like,
It's
that
not
don't
going
make
to
any
attack.
sense.
It's not
I
going to
know.
attack the United States mainland. Uh,
Exactly.
all right, so let's see. So General Meow Meow says, looks like Iran is trying to clean house, arresting spies. Yeah, that's another thing that's been happening over the past week. Iran has been going into overdrive, uh, basically rooting out and arresting Mossad agents in the country. And then he says, AI is such a dumpster fire. If only people would not use these systems. I just actually posted a link uh, from Council of Geeks, which is a YouTube channel that deals very much in uh, Hollywood and entertainment news and opinion, but also on uh, issues such as AI. Let me see if I can get the link to it. Let's see that. Oh, you know
Yeah,
what? This was actually this was on my other account. So let me go ahead and
yeah, yeah. About AI, man. AI really, the intent of it is to replace human jobs. But the reason why we got AI is out much now to get us enticed into it. So that when it really do replace us humans, then then we won't feel as, I guess they don't want us to feel as much. Damn, I forgot the word they use, pity, I guess. I don't know. I just woke up, guys. So but yeah, man, yeah, AI is dangerous. It is.
yeah, it is.
I
So let me go ahead and
Yeah.
copy the link and I'll put it that into chat. But
Okay.
yeah, Council of Geeks is a very good YouTube channel. Very, very good in terms of talking about trans issues and gender issues as well. Uh, yeah, so AI is yes a very large dumpster fire. Lionsgate not too long ago paid for some AI system to replace production like artists and some script writing. Pretty sure they're looking at just wholesale movie generation as well. That is the goal. It's not
Yeah.
going to work because AI really is just a glorified parrot, It cannot innovate. It cannot imagine. So all it can do is cobble stuff together from stuff that's already out there. Uh, so Lucasfilm, one of its vice presidents, went ahead and did a TED talk recently where he showed the supposed ability of AI to generate uh, mythical creatures, but it was just they just combined existing animals. So a recolored chimpanzee with stripes, a blue lion, a polar bear with white tiger stripes, an iguana with pink flamingo coloring and feathers. Uh, but it just looked lifeless and really awful. Uh, so if they think they're going to replace the more fanciful creatures that Lucasfilm and Industrial Light and Magic created for Star Wars, they're kidding themselves.
Right. Right. But hey, Mike, ain't that the reason why they had the Hollywood strike a year or two ago? Because
Yeah,
people were scared
yeah,
AI was.
that's one of the major concerns that a lot of Hollywood actors have been voicing because they're already underpaid as it is. Uh, because it used to be that if you were an actor and you were getting steady work uh, on a TV show or in a movie, you got paid fairly well. And if you're the star of the show, you could negotiate a pretty hefty paycheck.
Right.
But now it's about paying stars, even lead actors, as little as you can get away with. And if you can use AI to generate a likeness of that actor, well, you can just use that likeness indefinitely. Especially if it's a background actor, without actually having to pay anyone. So
Yeah.
yeah, the general says, ironically, it's worse than a parrot since it doesn't actually know how to parse what information it has at its disposal. There's no actual problem solving, intuition, or imagination. Exactly.
Right. That's true.
But Hollywood thinks AI is going to be the next big thing that'll let it save money and eliminate the need to pay actual human beings.
Right. Right.
This is the death of cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in 1984, there was a machine that mashed stories together to make stories sanctioned by the government for the masses. It's true. Although the tech was still mostly 1930s level because of the time that it was actually written, or maybe it was the 1950s, I think. But at any rate, most of that was still largely done by human beings. Uh, but yeah, Orwell did write that bit where there was a machine that did uh, basically mash up the stories, and then it was Winston's job to take that and turn it into the new fake reality.
Yep. That's true. Yeah. 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 But I think that one thing I think will save the music industry, for example, well, the little relevance it has is AI music sucks. So I think that's at least one thing that a lot of music artists don't have to worry about for a while, in my opinion. So.
Oh, it doesn't just suck; it blows.
Yeah, got that right. Oh man, it's terrible. I mean, like, oh my
Yeah,
god.
remember that scene in Spaceballs? She's gone from suck to blow.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Oh my
yes.
god. There's actually a sequel finally coming out. It's supposed to be released in a couple of years. Mel Brooks is in his 90s.
Yeah,
Was he like 94, 98, or something like that? 99 years old. Uh, but yeah, Bill Pullman is back. Daphne Zuniga. Uh, Mel Brooks, presumably, if he's not too old to be in it, will be back. Rick Moranis is coming out of retirement. That'll be awesome.
yeah,
Imagine what it takes to get Rick Moranis out of retirement.
yeah. I
That
mean,
guy
they
was
must offer.
he didn't even come back for the Ghostbusters sequels,
Oh shit. Yeah,
but
yeah,
he's coming back for Spaceballs too.
yeah.
Oh, and
They
Bill
offer him
Pullman's
a
son is also
lump
going to be in
sum.
it. Yeah, Bill
Yeah,
Pullman's son is going to be in the movie, presumably playing the son of Lone Star and Princess or Queen Vespa. Uh, I'm guessing. I don't know, but I don't see why he would play anyone else. And then, of course, now there's a new Naked Gun movie with Liam Neeson playing Frank Drebin Jr.
Yeah.
and Seth MacFarlane is producing. So I saw
Oh,
the trailer for it, and it looks good, except for the coloring. I don't know why Hollywood insists on this weird amber colored tint
yeah.
to every
Yeah.
movie these days, like amber and blue.
Amber and blue do not go together.
Yeah, it's just
Who,
it's not even a bisexual lighting; it's Miami Dolphins lighting.
hey, that new Fantastic Four movie got this weird coloring scheme too. I'm like,
Yeah.
why you?
It's something that really is pathological to Hollywood over the last 5 or 10 years. Actually, no,
Yeah,
really going back the last 15 years, and I
yeah,
don't know why. There's no legitimate reason for it. The color grading, for some reason, somebody decided, oh, that this is cool. This is a fad that we need to be going with, uh, and they just have never really broken out of it. It looks
yeah.
dumb. Maybe because they're trying to compensate for digital cameras, making everyone look all pale and pasty. And so now maybe they need to pretend that people still have some color in their faces
So,
because people have forgotten how to light.
oh boy, yeah.
I mean,
No,
did you happen to catch that Batwoman show on the CW that came out some years ago? It had Ruby Rose for the first couple seasons, and then she left because they treated her like garbage and weren't paying her enough, and also she couldn't act for shit. But uh, but
yeah, I
then
know you're talking about.
yeah, I saw that and was like, why did they light it like that? So did they hire someone who dropped out of film school? Wait, they had an actual cinematographer, veteran, and
Yeah.
he lit it like that. Why does he still have a job?
How did it get approved through to the producers and shit? Like, I just don't understand.
Backstage politics. All right. General Meow Meow says, "Got to put a kid to bed. Be easy. It's not the end of the world, but you can see it from here. Deus Ex: Human Revolution." Well, good luck putting your kid to bed. I've
Yeah,
been there with the friends of mine who had to put their kids to bed, and yeah, it was kind of a chore because the kids didn't want to go to sleep. So
yeah,
I don't have any kids of my own.
yeah,
Fingers crossed. I can get back to the Philippines and marry my fiance. You know, fingers crossed. But but yeah, no kids of my own.
yeah, yeah. I don't have no kids either, man. Especially now since potential, World War III. I don't think that having kids at this point is a possibility for me. You know what I'm saying. So,
Well,
yeah,
if World War III breaks out, like I said, it'll mean nuclear holocaust.
right.
At which point, no one survives. Which, ironically, if we end up in a nuclear winter, that might actually cancel out global warming because there won't be
Uh,
anyone left alive to generate greenhouse gases.
right.
So maybe by the time the nuclear winter ends, levels will
Yeah,
go back
man.
down enough. But but yeah, the situation is just oh my god, it just is. You ever have you ever seen something happen in the news and think, maybe humanity deserves to go extinct?
Yeah, that's how I process it on a daily basis, man. It's like this once beautiful world of ours, man. Over the past what fucking 100 years or so, man. Um, we polluted, man. The imperialized parts of the world. It just like I process all this shit every day in my head, man, and I'm
Yeah,
like, why are we still living? Like, just sometimes I wish like Mother Nature or some shit just come overnight. I'm not religious anymore, but just come and fucking wipe us off or some shit. Like, god damn, bro. Oh
Yeah,
man, like
I'm not exactly religious
just
anymore either. I mean, I do identify as a Unitarian Christian, but
yeah,
yeah, I'm going to be praying tonight though,
yeah,
because what's about to come is
man,
because Iran's strategy though has been pretty smart though. I mean, its initial volleys against Israel were basically to test its defenses, find out the weak points, and then exploit those weak points to punch through. I expect it'll follow that strategy against the United States, in particular, as it tries to move personnel and heavy vehicles into the area. Because if you
right,
think you're going to launch a ground war of Iran, you're out of your fucking mind. It's not happening.
man,
They've got a million
man.
person military, and you've only got 40,000 personnel in the region.
And Mike, did you
But
say
you
too
just
that
basically invited Iran to take out all 40,000 personnel.
yeah. And Mike, you said too the U.S. military is 70% capacity, 70% capacity right now. So
Yeah, something like 75-70% capacity because of COVID.
yeah, yeah.
Well, the
So
United Kingdom has the same problem. It can't find people to staff its warships because too many of
that's
them
true.
have been disabled by COVID. They went into full let it rip mode.
Yeah,
And much like here in the United States, there's a strong anti-vax movement over in the United Kingdom. So, people are getting brain damage, heart damage, chronic fatigue. Uh, One of my favorite YouTubers, Skologram, just put out a video yesterday where he was describing symptoms that do actually sound very much like long COVID,
yeah,
which he isn't helping by trying to force his way through it. So, and I posted a comment on his video saying, look, you might want to go get tested for long COVID because if you've had that anytime within the last 5 years, this would explain your health issues
exactly.
because it has been known to deplete the mitochondria, which is what uh, powers our cells.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And remember, we had a comrade that had the same symptoms as well. Fortunately, like she's doing better, but yeah, like I could
Yeah, it
tell,
can
like
take
once
years
you
to
have
recover if
COVID,
ever.
yeah, I could tell like she's different. She functions different. Like you notice that, like, but I'm not a doctor, so I can't, diagnose anybody with long COVID and nothing like that. But she just like the symptoms, like I could tell, like she's
Yeah,
not the same.
for quite a number of months after my pneumonia
Hmm.
in 2020, I was having issues with my ability to focus. I mean, I still was able to function and do my job, but
Yeah,
I think part of it was I was uh, trying to communicate with someone, a friend I had met through Facebook, who unfortunately has some rather severe mental problems, and just having a conversation with her, it's kind of easy to lose focus and forget what you're saying, but because you're just listening to a bunch of like self-defeating and self-loathing talk, and eventually your mind just starts tuning out. Uh, and I don't mean to disparage this
right.
person. I've got plenty of sympathy and empathy for what she's going through, but unfortunately, when someone is just it's nothing but negativity and self sabotage. Just as a coping mechanism, you kind of have to tune out a little bit.
Right.
Um,
That's true.
so yeah, and unfortunately, that person cut me off after I lost my job and I wasn't able to buy her a new phone charger because for some reason she keeps damaging hers.
How the fuck you damage a phone charger? What the fuck you got?
I don't know. She plugs it in and it won't charge, and
Oh,
she doesn't know why. It's like I need if I can't charge because her phone is her only lifeline to the outside world. She has no other friends. So
oh,
yeah,
she one of them people. Oh, okay, okay.
yeah. So yeah, this was just yeah, it's something that you try and help someone, but when it's clear that you're just a wallet to someone, you got to scale back.
Cut them off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then I
I've
ended
been there,
another
man.
friendship because of transphobia.
Yeah.
And this is
I've
someone
been there too,
I
Mike.
know going back to late 2014. I
Yeah.
finally had to tell her, look, call me when you just decide to grow up and act like a human being because you're not being a human being right now. You're being a bigot.
Yeah. Man, that man, Mike,
Because she had the unmitigated gall to say that I was okay with rape because I support trans rights. So, because
what?
according to her, all trans women are rapists.
Man, I tell you, man, I gotta
And it's
watch
like,
what I say on
yeah.
YouTube.
So, and she didn't just do this once; she did it twice. I
Oh,
was willing
jeez.
to forgive her after the first time because I knew her temper was up, and uh, but but when she did it to me a second time, I was like, no, sorry,
Yeah.
you're done. You're out
Yeah.
of my life. Goodbye.
Yeah. Had a friend like that once too.
I
But
refuse to be friends with a bigot. I'm 51 years old. I am no longer tolerant of people who fill their hearts with hatred against marginalized people.
yeah, man, it was this YouTuber, man. I used to love this guy. Um, talk about black culture and stuff like that. Then he started using the F word. You know what I'm talking about, and
Yeah,
not fuck the other one. And I'm like, don't say that, dude. But he kept saying that. I just had to stop watching him, man. I'm like, come on, man. Like,
yeah,
like, like, bro, like, grow up. Like, he older than me, man. Like, you don't use words like that. Like, it's so like, you know, like with the R word. Like, I don't use it no more. I used to use it a lot, but I wasn't talking about special people. I'm talking about regular people. But I learned like out of respect of special needs people, I stopped using the R word. And like, yeah, man, it's just certain words and stuff. It's certain stuff you can't do anymore, man. Like, I just don't
yeah,
understand, man. People
yeah.
just
So here we've got Ben Norton with some more info here. So Ben Morton says Caligula Drumpf has delivered a speech at the White House boasting of his attack on Iran. He threatened Iran with more attacks, saying there are many targets left. He demanded that Iran must now make peace, i.e., surrender. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater. So Drumpf has certainly portrayed Iran as the aggressor, but the United States and Israel started the war. Iran already signed a nuclear deal in 2015. Drumpf tore it up in 2018. Iran participated in 5 rounds of peace talks with Drumpf this year, but they were fake. He used them as cover to attack Iran. Uh, so yeah, this is basically Trump saying surrender unconditionally now, so that we can destroy you,
yeah,
and then there will be peace. It's like no,
don't work like
no,
that.
Iran's not going to surrender. And if Trump thinks this is going to be a cakewalk, he's out of his
Okay.
freaking mind.
Uh,
COVID has decimated the U.S. military.
yes,
Our equipment is outdated. Much of it has already
yes,
been used up on the battlefield in Ukraine and also supplying Israel in its war to exterminate the Palestinians.
right. Yeah, I
It's a
mean,
matter of logistics. Iran has been husbanding its resources as it should be,
hmm, yeah,
much like Russia has. Russian and Chinese capacity to produce munitions and weapons far outpaces that of the United States. We let our industry degrade. We no longer make anything except weapons, and even those we don't have the infrastructure to produce them at the scale necessary for a projected war.
exactly.
Trump
That's
needs
true.
a quick victory. He's not going to get it.
Yeah, the same guy that,
This isn't going to be like the initial months of the Iraq War, where
yeah,
Bush two decided, I'm going to put out the banner that says "Mission Accomplished" 2 months into the war, and it ended up dragging on for 10 years.
right, yeah, yeah. But I think because Iran is so military capable, I don't even think if this becomes a real war, I think this shit will last fucking 2 years. You talking about 10? But yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah, that,
Trump. See, this is what happens when like at least Trump first term. Like at least he had neocon warhawks in there too, but they were more calculated. Now Trump has people that tell him, "Hey, shoot first and ask questions later." I'm like, yeah, that's just going to lead to people dying quicker. So yeah,
no, absolutely, it's going to lead to more people dying.
yeah, yeah, man. Wow, man. I woke up. I missed our podcast, and I didn't expect this. Like, man, but
It happens, man. Look, I know you're going through a rough time. We all are. So, no
yeah,
worries. Better late than
yeah,
never.
yeah, Mike. I appreciate you being patient with me, man. I know you got a lot on your plate too, man. At least I can, but yeah, man. Thank you.
If you had promised me a Boston Carver sandwich from Boston Market and it wasn't
Oh
that
yeah.
time, I would have been upset.
Oh
But
yeah. Oh
no,
shit.
actually, I used to
Yeah.
work at Boston Market from
Yeah.
2003 to 2005, and almost 3 years at that place before I left for greener pastures. And uh, I still like the food, but trying to order from them through DoorDash is crazy expensive, and they don't have meatloaf anymore. Apparently, they're constantly out whenever I order it.
Oh wow. Yeah. I haven't ate in Boston Market in like 7, 8 years.
Yeah,
But I did enjoy
it's
the
largely closed down here in where I am. It used
yeah.
to be in a number of locations. I don't think it's. I think there's just like one in Shaker Heights, and that's it.
Yeah. You had to drive to Shreveport when it was open. I don't think it's open anymore, but you had to drive to Shreveport to go to one in my area. But yeah, yeah, they food was based. Like you could like buy food for the holidays. What I ordered, I forgot what I used to
Yeah,
order. It was good,
yeah.
like
It
turkey and
really
stuff
went
like that.
downhill in terms of. I think part of it was after you see McDonald's had bought Boston Market in the late '90s, early 2000s, along with Domino's Pizza, uh, because those two companies on their own weren't doing too well. So McDonald's bought them really to kind of turn them around, and then ended up selling both of them again some years later. So I worked there during the McDonald's years, and that's when we actually had some stuff that was worth selling. And then after McDonald's sold the company, it just went back downhill because its business model was not all that great to begin with, and the people at the top making the decisions made a bunch
Yeah,
of bad investments.
yeah, yeah. That's the case with a lot of restaurants over the years, man. Just
Yeah,
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 make the
there was this.
quality.
There was this restaurant here in Cleveland. It was called Greenhouse Tavern, owned by a gentleman named Jonathan Sawyer, who also owned a chain called Noodle Cat, which focused on Japanese ramen.
Yeah,
And his restaurants ended up closing up because he ran into problems with money, and then the pandemic hit, and that pretty much destroyed his business. He still, last time I checked, owns a couple of stands over at Cleveland Browns Stadium, but yeah, it's really rough out there if you're in the restaurant industry. It's
yeah,
very tough to make a profit. Even McDonald's has been struggling.
yeah. That's because of the reason why McDonald's struggling because of the BDS anyway. So
Yeah, and
yeah,
then and Wendy's and see, someone showed a picture, and this is very true. Someone posted a picture of McDonald's in like the 1990s, early 2000s, and then a picture of McDonald's today. And it says, now it looks like something just so lifeless and barren. Whereas before, back when they still had the mascots like Ronald McDonald and Grimace and Birdie and the Fry Guys and Hamburglar and all that stuff. Uh,
yeah,
Basically, the whole McDonald Land cast of characters. I mean, it was colorful.
Yeah. Right.
It was something
Right.
that you can actually see yourself taking your kids to. Making an evening of it. I mean, you want to do it every day. Obviously, you shouldn't be doing it every day. Just look what it did to poor Morgan Spurlock. He turned his liver to pate after he went and ate there for a month straight, and he ended up dying of cancer. I think what was it, last year or the year before?
Yeah.
And I don't
Yeah.
doubt
I remember.
that
Yeah. I heard
experiment
about
he
that.
did years ago played a huge role in it. But
Yeah. You
but
talking about Yeah.
yeah, it was the movie was called Super Size Me.
Yeah. 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 I remember
Yeah,
that
I
movie.
still have that actually, but yeah, it's something that I don't think people really appreciate. But if you paced yourself and you went there like maybe once a month or every couple of months, okay, fine, whatever. But yeah, you could take your kids there. If it had an indoor play area, you could have the kids in the play area while you sat with the baby and ate your dinner. Um, but all that got stripped out, and now it's just like, and Burger King too. It's just as lifeless. Same thing with Wendy's. Uh, it's gotten so corporate and hollowed out.
Right.
I just don't understand, what possible reason they could have had to do away with all that. It couldn't have been the lack of money because there was profit to be made in catering to a specific niche audience.
Right. Yeah.
But now it's indistinguishable from any other burger chain,
Yeah.
which probably explains why Jollibee is kicking ass and expanding here in North America because McDonald's has dropped the ball.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, in
Before
fact, I actually posted on my Facebook page, "Hey Jollibee USA, when are you gonna come to Cleveland, Ohio?" And they actually responded, by the way.
Oh wow. Man, they need to
Yeah,
come to my area. Yes. Um. Yeah.
yeah. Let me
Yeah.
let me see if I can pull it up real quick, actually, because this is from my perspective, this was something to laugh over because it's like, okay, fine, but
Yeah.
go ahead and call this up. Uh, and it's being painfully slow again.
Yeah. I know about technology. Oh
Part of
shit.
it's my internet connection. It just is really not all that great.
Yeah. I'm supposed to have fiber internet, and it's been acting crapping out lately. So I have to call my internet provider Monday and tell them what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, I
Oh
need a
boy.
direct
I
internet
pay
connection,
$70 a month.
but yeah, I need a direct internet connection, but my aunt won't let me get my own modem. Well, I'm unemployed now, so I can't afford it. But even if I could, I'm still not allowed to have my own internet modem because she doesn't want anything that would necessitate drilling holes in the house or whatever. Which okay, fine, I can understand, but she expects me to get a work from home job without a stable internet connection.
Yeah, you need a great internet connection to work from home, like what she expect you to do. Go to the library or something. Like, that can't work either.
Yeah,
So,
and it's really.
oh boy. Yeah, man.
Yeah. So, but yeah, my Facebook isn't loading. So, okay. Oh well, fine. But yeah. So, Jollibee USA didn't reply to me and saying, yeah, we've got no plans to move to Cleveland, Ohio yet, but keep an eye out for updates. So, I was like, yes, they actually responded. Look, because when I was in the Philippines last year, my fiance and I went there on a couple of occasions, and I got to try the Yum Burger. I did not get to try the Aloha Burger. I want to try that when I go back. But I tried their spaghetti, tried their chicken. The rumors of its famous crunch are not at all exaggerated.
Yeah. Hey,
So,
do y'all have mug shots in your area? Mug
try
shots.
what?
Mug shots. It's a burger restaurant.
No, we don't, but we do have Five Guys
Yeah, mug shots, man. Yeah.
and
If you
Quaker
in
Steak and Shake. Uh,
Yeah.
or just Steak and Shake now. I don't know. I think they dropped the Quaker. Then there's
Hey,
also Svenson's, which is actually pretty decent.
yeah, yeah. In my area, man. Now we got mug shots now. Man, yeah, their burgers are good. They A1. Yeah. Like, to be honest, I tell anybody, if you want to get a good burger, man, like, I recommend go to mug shots, man, cause yeah, but Five Guys, man, man, what's up with Five Guys? They got hella expensive over the years. Holy
They
shit.
did actually. I mean, their burgers are okay, but yeah, they're crazy expensive, and
Yeah.
uh, it's really disappointing because they really had a decent business model, but then the prices went up and up and up. It's like, dude, we can't afford this. Now, there was a chain. If I actually, let me see if I can look it up and see if it's still open. I hope it is. But the chain was called Brown Bag Burger, and I don't think it's open anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a Cleveland Reddit. It says, I miss Brown Bag Burger. I was a customer since 2014, and I went to go there, and it was closed. Heard it was supposed to be renovated, and they decided to close instead. Oh man, that just bites. I love their burgers.
Damn.
I just loved their burgers. It was so tasty. But if you have a Facebook page
Yeah.
and you want to go check it out, yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah, it says closed permanently. Yeah,
Okay.
that just is a damn shame. Fortunately, I think there's still fresh and meaty burgers over on the east side of Cleveland. Now it's not quite as good as Brown Bag Burgers was, but oh man, I remember going to eat there in the early 2000s. But yeah, there's my GoFundMe link. If you want to go ahead and donate to my campaign, uh, I'm still looking for work. I've got an appointment on the phone Monday with someone to help me see if we can get my resume up to the point where I can actually get an interview because I just apply to jobs left and right and get nothing but rejections or I get scam offers or people from insurance agencies saying, but I need an insurance license to be able to work an insurance sales job, and I'm
That's
not going to be able
crazy.
to get that
It,
unless I get hired. It's like, dude, what? Just pay for the freaking license out of pocket. You can take it out of my first paycheck.
exactly. It shouldn't. I don't think it's that expensive to get a fucking insurance license. Like, come on.
For Ohio, it's $100. I don't
Oh
even have
wow.
$1 in my bank account.
Like they can't afford $100. Yeah, like take it out of a paycheck. Like when I
My
apply for
phone
my
bill is
job.
due on the 24th.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna promote your. Hold on, I'm gonna promote your link to my Twitter is popping right now, so I'm gonna promote your link to the timeline. Your
Yeah,
GoFundMe
it,
link.
it, it just is so frustrating because I've been trying
I
and
know, man.
trying, and no matter what I do, and you've got to have like this ATS compliant or whatever, but it's called ATS. It's basically so that AI can pick out like these keywords that recruiters look for because recruiters don't do their jobs anymore. They outsourced it to AI. So uh, if you don't have those keywords that they're looking for, they just throw your resume in the trash without even reading it. They spend maybe 10 seconds looking at it.
Yeah, yeah. I heard about this. Start doing it too.
Yeah, I'm close to
Um,
having it to where
man.
it needs to be, but according to the gentleman I've been talking to, it could use some further refinement. So, with any luck, in fact, I need to check my Google Drive and see if he's made any changes to it. But yeah, I think And part of the problem is that there are some organizations that are supposed to help with resumes, but I already went through the program, and that was 5 years ago. So now they're saying I have to go through the program again. It's like, dude, I don't have the time to. I don't. First of all, I don't have any transportation to get down there, and two, you're going to make me go through like what 3 or 4 weeks of a program I already went through just to not get any help getting a job.
Exactly.
They got me
Yeah,
one
just
job 5 years ago, which with an organization that it's very seasonal. It's great money when it's in operation, but right now it's not in operation.
right. In this capitalist system, you need money,
Yeah.
constantly. Like,
It's only operating during election season and not
oh
during
man,
off years
yeah,
unless there's something on the state ballot.
yeah, yeah,
So as
exactly.
much as I love the job and as quick as I'll be to go back if they call me back,
Yeah,
but it's too seasonal in nature.
right, exactly. Yeah, man. So, yeah,
So, yeah, but
yeah.
it's getting
So,
late. So any final thoughts?
oh man, whoo, man, just brace for impact. That's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah. Do not think that this war is going to go quickly or easily for the United States and Israel. That doesn't mean that they won't do a hell of a lot of damage. It doesn't mean that they won't destroy Iran. But this is a situation where China and Russia cannot afford to lose Iran because that would basically tank the Belt and Road Initiative for China, which it can't afford to lose. And also, it would pretty much destroy BRICS because Iran is a part of BRICS. And if BRICS nations and nations who are not part of BRICS, but they're thinking of joining, if they see that the two biggest partners, China and Russia, can't defend member states, why would they ever join it? So, this is an existential war that Iran cannot afford to lose, and I don't think China and Russia can afford to let Iran lose it either.
Yeah,
So this is not going to be a quick and easy war, contrary to what Caligula Drumpf clearly thinks.
right, right. Yeah, um, man, like yeah. It's not like Iran is just doing it by themselves. Like, yeah, when you
Yeah,
got Russia and China in their back pocket, yeah, like you said, it's
and
not gonna be
MAGA is
quick and
flipping
easy.
its lid because half of MAGA is bought into the lie that Trump was somehow anti-war, despite him never
Uh,
ever giving any evidence of that being the case.
Look at his first
Half
term,
of
Mike.
I mean, if you've got Tucker Carlson, okay, that
Yeah,
formerly bow-tied freak Fucker Carlson,
fuck a Carson. Yeah.
going after Ted Cruz and criticizing
Oh my
Caligula
god.
Drumpf.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, that and then too, Mike. Like he's not anti. Like his first term. Like
Yeah, he was never
he was.
anti-war. I mean, Carlson isn't anti-war either. He's just as hot to go to war against China as Trump is.
Yeah,
He just sees this thing with Israel and Russia as distractions to that goal.
right. That's true. That's true.
And that's the only real difference between someone like Fucker Carlson and someone like, uh, say, Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden, who see Russia as a greater threat.
Yeah, yeah. But hey, Mike, I posted something today. I said somebody said I think it was like somebody said what Hillary and Biden what they were saying. I said if they were president, they'll go to World War III way quicker. Uh, I take that back because now we
Well,
potentially
I
there
always knew
now.
that Trump was going to take us into a war at some point.
Yeah,
Uh, but here's the thing: he's a lot more incompetent than even Biden and Harris.
true. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, Biden
Like
and Harris at least had people around them who at least pretended to know what the hell they were doing
Yeah.
and were able to fake it well enough to get through 4 years. Hegseth doesn't even have brains enough to demonstrate any competence on any level.
Yeah.
The boy was
Excel.
going to deploy the Marines like immediately, not realizing no, you actually need to take the time to train them for urban pacification. You can't just send them in.
Oh man, I think his self brain cells have diminished because of his alcoholism. So had something
Yeah,
like
well,
yeah. Oh my
yeah,
god, man.
well, you put a neo-Nazi in as the head of the Department of War, who has
Yeah.
never actually served in the military, or if he did, he probably got discharged dishonorably. Um, but yeah, he's got all those neo-Nazi tattoos and all that shit, and he thinks he knows about warfare. No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't know jack shit. Ted Cruz doesn't know jack shit about warfare because he's a politician, but not one of them has read Sun Tzu. Because what is
Exactly.
one of the more famous admonitions of Sun Tzu? He says, "Know your enemy and know yourself, and in 100 battles you will never lose." If you only know
Exactly.
yourself but not the enemy, or only know the enemy but not yourself, you're only going to win half of the time. And if you
Right.
don't know the enemy or yourself, you're never going to win a battle.
Right.
But Ted
Yeah.
Cruz, the guy who dresses up like Ed Grimley on the campaign trail,
Oh my god. Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. Oh,
he
now I
thinks he
can't
doesn't
unthink
know
that.
anything about the country that he wants the United States to destroy. Like, bitch, you're going to get U.S. service personnel killed for no good reason.
Yep. So when your
Just like
love,
George W. Bush and Dick Cheney got U.S. personnel killed going into Iraq without any kind of real plan, except shock and awe,
yeah,
without any plan for the guerrilla war that they should have known would follow, and which did follow.
yeah,
Same thing in Afghanistan, where we got bogged down for 20 years.
20 years. That's fucking crazy. Yeah. You remember Trump say he's gonna
Trump
pull
thinks
out
he's
of
going to take on
Afghanistan?
Iran, which is many times larger than Iraq
Oh God.
and much more
Yeah.
disciplined
Yeah.
than the Israeli military. The Israeli military, they're thugs. They're undisciplined thugs.
Yeah.
You put them up against the actual soldiers, they fold like sheep lawn chairs. All right, they only know how to put on women's underwear after they've raided a house and discovered, oh yeah, they dress up in lingerie after all, like they're actual human
What the
women and
fuck?
not savage beasts. So we're just going to put on their underwear and prance around making fun of them, disgracing their uniforms in the process and showing just how undisciplined they are.
Yeah.
This is the army they think was
Yeah.
ever going to take on Iran. Fuck no.
Oh God.
But they
Man, I'm
took
telling you,
on
boy.
Iran
Why you think
and
it?
got
Yeah.
their asses handed to them and went whining to the United States to come and rescue them.
Yeah. Yeah. And Israel playing the victim in all this, and they fucking perpetrated it to begin with. Even though we know that
Exactly.
Trump wanted to attack Iran, but still, like, who landed the first punch? Like, So yeah, man, it's yeah. Um,
I swear,
so
man. I swear.
yeah, and so yeah, guys, like if you have military personnel, man, it's man, like I feel sorry for you because most likely, I'm not trying to be a doomer or nothing, but most likely someone might come back home in body bags, and you can
Mhm.
thank Israel and Trump for that, and Ted Cruz, stupid ass, the same Ted fucking Cruz that let people in Texas froze to fucking death while he was in fucking Cancun or some shit. Like,
Yeah. And
yeah,
Herr Fetterman, actually. Let's not forget
yeah,
Herr Fetterman.
yeah, yeah, him
He
too.
started slobbering all over Caligula Drum's dick on Twitter.
Yeah, yeah. That now, Mike, you know if you like you know about him, right? Like he had a stroke or
Yeah,
something. Like
yeah.
definitely brain damage.
Well, he was like that before the stroke. It's just gotten worse since then.
Yeah. Like this man come to Congress wearing a fucking sweatshirt. Well, I really don't care what you wear, but like, god
Sweatshirt
damn.
and jogging shorts. Yeah, I mean,
Jogging pants, yeah, like
granted, I've never been one to believe
yeah, me either.
in dressing all, because it used to
Me
be
either.
that
Yeah,
members
yeah,
of Congress dressed up in like tuxedo type suits and wore the
yeah.
top hats and all that. 'Cause, all of it popped in circumstance. I was never into that.
Me either.
So
Yeah.
if I ever got elected to public office, yeah, that'll never happen. But if I ever did, I might wear a dress shirt and blue jeans or something like that. But that's about as
Yeah.
casual as I'm gonna get.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Cat.
but wearing jogging shorts and a hoodie and flip flops, it's like, dude, take your job seriously.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Seriously, I mean, this is the kind of bullshit that you expect us to put up with.
Right.
And then he
I
wonders
mean,
why people hate his guts. It's like, why does everyone hate me? Because you're a genocidal fascist. That's why.
yeah. He might as well join the Republican Party. I mean, both parties the same, but at least the way he kissed
Yeah.
up to Trump,
So,
like it make more sense.
uh, I also got a survey from some Democrat group linked to Sherrod Brown, asking me
Oh,
who I plan on voting for. I just said straight up, I'm not. I'm undecided because it didn't allow me the option of saying I would vote third party
of course.
or
Yeah.
independent.
Yeah.
But if Sherrod Brown thinks I'm voting for his stupid ass for senator or governor, he can dream all he wants, but he's not getting my vote. The Republicans definitely are not getting my vote, but Brown is not getting my vote. He sold us out.
Yeah. Oh
I do
yeah.
not want a senator who is willing to work with Republicans.
What?
I do not want a senator who is willing to double down on Trump's immigration policies, his anti-China policies, who's willing to throw trans people under the bus.
Yeah. Yeah. Deport immigrants. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So,
It's.
all right. So, any parting words before we head out?
I mean, I know a lot of people freaking out on Twitter right now, as I see. But my thing is, if you're watching this live, because I got a simulcast, find some glimmer, like JB said. I'm just gonna say it. Just do what you can to make yourself, cope in this dystopian society. Like that's all I gotta say, man.
Yeah, yeah. Go. I just dropped a new shaving video on my other channel, so if you want to go check that out. But yeah, I would highly recommend getting a good safety razor if you can afford it. You can get the Razor Rock Goat. Get yourself a nice shave soap, a bowl, and a brush, and it's just very therapeutic doing it. Even if you're just
Yeah,
using it for detailing or whatever. But yeah, it's very good hobby. Can get quite expensive
yeah,
if you're not careful, but you can
yeah.
just get a can of shave foam, like say Barbasol or Paraso,
Right.
do some proper beard prep, and then just take your time and enjoy it, man. Cartridge
Yeah.
razors suck.
I hate cartridge razors, man. Oh, don't get me started on motherfuckers.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
razor bumps will
I,
be a
I
thing of the past if you go to a safety razor.
yeah. I watch your razor videos, man. Yeah, they're very helpful. Um, you know, so yeah, I recommend watching his Mike's razor videos, man. It's cool. It's cool, man. And also too, hey, it's good pastime from
It is. Yeah, it's very.
politics,
Yeah,
politics, as they
it's
say.
very therapeutic. I got into safety razors in 2017. I just have never looked back.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
couldn't even imagine getting a cartridge razor. I've got a Gillette Track 2 razor that I use as a travel razor, but that's pretty much it as far as any cartridge blades go.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah.
All right. All right. Well, good
All
night,
right.
Andre. Thanks for coming on. Let's go ahead and do this next week because I suspect things are going to evolve pretty quickly. So Let's
Yeah.
shoot for Monday if you want, or you pick the day and we'll go ahead and see if we can do a stream.
We could do it. We could do an A&M podcast Monday. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause
Or if you can bring me out to ATP, let's see if
ooh,
I know Liz has got a lot going on her plate, but if we can get a multi person panel going, that would be awesome.
hmm. Yeah. You know what? I might try since it's so fresh now. You want to try to shoot for tomorrow? I know Liz is asleep right now. Maybe I could text her tomorrow morning and see if she could hop on with us for like about
Yeah,
20,
tomorrow
30
sounds
minutes.
great.
Yeah, man. Like I wanted to. I was supposed to have her on last week, but so much shit came up. So yeah, man. Man, tomorrow, man. As more news come out, man. Yeah, I'm gonna do a live stream tomorrow too. You got man, there's just so much shit going on. Oh my god, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish we could get the other people to come on too, but you know, three of us, hey,
Well, we'll try.
yeah,
We'll try. Just gotta make sure everyone's got the time and the inclination, and see what happens. And
yeah.
hopefully that one idiot won't come on here harassing me, trying to get you to distance yourself from me.
Maggot cheese or that
Uh, that guy who can't spell the word peace.
oh him, yeah. Oh Mike, I know you gotta go, man, but he hit me up in my DMs, man.
What? Now he's coming into your DMs? Oh my god!
Hey, hey Mike, I'm gonna
I'm
screenshot you
free
what
in
he
that
said.
guy's head. Oh my god!
He called you. He said don't call him Timmy or some shit too. Like what?
I do call him Timmy. He's a fucking Timmy. All right, that's my new word for the male equivalent of a Karen. All right,
Oh
Timmy
my
is
god.
the male Karen.
Oh my god. Oh my god. He said he want to talk to
Yeah,
me on my
if
show.
you're Gen X like I am or older, you might remember Timmy from the old Lassie TV show. You know, the kid who was always getting stuck down the fucking well or into some other situation where Lassie had to go save him because he was just that fucking stupid. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Timmy. All
Yeah.
right, that is
Yeah.
our male equivalent of the Karen.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what though? If he gon', I don't know why he implicated me when y'all was talking, but I'm gonna warn him like, hey, if you come on my show, man, I'm gonna cook your ass, cause I know you call me a little bitch. Like,
Yeah,
you call me a little
he called you
bitch,
that.
Mike? Yeah. Yeah. When y'all was talking, like he said, Andre, stop hiding like a little bitch. I'm like, oh, okay,
Oh my god!
man. I'm
Does
gonna
he
cook
know who
that
he's
motherfucker,
talking
man.
to?
I'm gonna cook that motherfucker. Yeah,
Oh my
Mike, you,
god!
you know how raw and uncut I be, man. Man, I'm telling you what. he, been-
Oh my lord!
he said, cause I
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah. Sorry for those of you just tuning in late. We're talking Twitter drama and some of the hilarity that we have to deal with from chronically online losers.
Oh my god, like I just this. Hey, Mike, this is why I like. This is why I want to deactivate my Twitter account because people like that, they supposed to be quote unquote, what he said he is. He's an anarchic,
Anarcho-communist. It's like,
yeah, some shit. But
and then it says that I
what?
cosplay as an anarcho-communist. It's like, first of all, I don't claim to be an anarchist or a communist.
Yeah, you never said you was a communist.
I'm
I
actually
tell people
getting
that.
to there on the communist front, but I was never an anarchist, nor do I ever intend to be an anarchist. So where did he get the
Yeah,
impression that I
I
was an
don't even know.
anarchist?
That's why I said like
I do
people.
actually believe in a strong central government. I just believe in a government that works for the people.
Yeah, right. Hey, people think you a communist. I have to tell people like Mike is not communist. He never said he was a communist. I don't know why people think you.
Yeah, maybe one day I'll get there, but because I'm still evolving politically, but I've always been on the left. But that just because I'm on the left doesn't mean that I'm necessarily a communist, and I'm definitely not an anarchist.
Right. Yeah. 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 I call myself a communist, but I wouldn't say I'm a Marxist Leninist. I don't think I'm that level yet.
Yeah,
Um.
I think really the left has to really kind of define what communism is and like a consistent definition and then stick by it. Okay, quit letting right wingers cosplaying as liberals
Oh
defined these
my God.
because conservatives usurped the word liberal and made it right wing. Now, liberalism was never right wing. It's actually a leftist ideology, be it a mild one.
Yeah.
Because, like on the left spectrum, you've got liberalism, then you've got progressivism, then socialism, and finally communism. So, it's closer to be on the political center, if there is a political center. There really isn't one, but it's not a right wing ideology. It never was. But people think it is because the far right hijacked the term, just like they hijacked the term progressive
Right.
to try and sell far right policies.
Yeah. But my thing is, I try to stray away from labels because that's that reason you just said. It's like people hijack this shit all the time. Like, remember, like earlier today, like I hate bringing up his fucking name. You know who I'm talking about. I just say Stinkle. Like
Oh,
he
Hacks and
says he's a
Stinkle,
com.
yeah,
Yeah, Axon Stinkle. Yeah,
yeah.
he
Hacks
says
and
he's a
Stinkle,
communist.
member of the American Cunt Party,
American
because
Cunt
they're not
Party.
communists. They LARP as communists, but
Oh
no,
God.
they're feds, dude. They're feds and grifters.
Yeah, and yeah, when people tell you like something is shit, like not just one person but multiple people, it's shit. Like ask a lot of people around. I said the American Communist Party, they legit. People say the same shit you said, Mike. They're grifters. They this. I'm like,
Grifters and feds. I
yeah,
mean, they change their.
yeah,
I mean, they've been sucking up to Trump really since the whole thing started. Because the movement for a People's Party started by what's his name? Not Caleb Maupin, Nick Brana. Nick Brana. They were
yeah,
trying to do this like movement for a People's Party that Jimmy Doorknob kind of hopped onto, and then it turns out Nick Brana was not only embezzling from it, but also in bed with the libertarians, and also credibly accused of sexual harassment. But after the movement for a People's Party collapsed, that's when Hicks and Stickle decided, you know what, we're just going to take this over and uh, do like MAGA communism, where we try and get Trumpers to become communists. It's like, no, that was never going to happen. MAGA despises communists. They were never going to
yeah,
become communists.
yeah. That don't make any
So,
sense.
so basically, it's just a way for MAGA types to try and woo members of the left and pull them over to the extreme right and join the Trump movement.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh man, I just knew something was up with Jack Haxton
But
Stinkle when I first laid it out. When I first seen him, I'm like, yeah, this guy,
yeah, a guy who is a
plays a
rampant
role.
homophobe and transphobe, who dresses in three-piece suits and cozies up to Trump. Yeah, can't possibly be anything suspect about that guy.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I just don't. I'm just telling you, man. Like,
But anyone who cozies up to the libertarians has to be on the up and up, right?
oh God, I can't. Man, the libertarians, man, like, bro, like, they're really nothing but and cosplaying as anti-war Republicans. That's what I think of libertarians in my opinion. Like, um, literally, if you look at it, like, kind of aligned with the conservatives, but
Yeah, and yeah, and then Doorknob's former colleague Graham, what's his name? He and I got into it over Bitcoin. So I
Graham
happened to
Elwood.
mention that Bitcoin is uh, I'm trying to remember. It's late. It's almost midnight here, and my brain is beginning to go to sleep for the night. But yeah, he was. Yeah, he was like, oh yeah, this guy's making fun of himself, and Bitcoin is king and whatever. It's basically a Bitcoin call. Cryptocurrencies, all of them are scams. But they're saying that
Yes.
the future is Bitcoin. Invest in crypto. Graham Elwood. Graham Elwood.
Yeah,
So
Graham
yeah,
Elwood. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
he's really not that much different from Jimmy Doorknob. He's just a crypto bro cult member.
Yeah, but I think him and Jimmy, like, I think they distanced themselves because of COVID,
Yeah,
the COVID shit, the
they fell out
vaccine.
over COVID and some other stuff.
Y-
It
Yeah,
wasn't just COVID,
yeah,
but Doorknob really kind of made clear that it's his way or the highway, and you can't criticize him. But Elwood, unfortunately, is not that much different from him. Um, he's got his Bitcoin grift. Doorknob's got his anti-vax and COVID-idiot grift, and Stinkle has his MAGA communism grift. It's all grift.
yeah,
And this is why I'll never be a millionaire, and why I'll never be nearly as big as him, because I refuse to sell out my principles.
yeah. Same
I'm
here.
not going
Like,
to lie to people, and I'm not going to try and sell stuff to people that they don't want. All right. I might get stuff wrong, and I'll fully admit when I get stuff wrong, because I'm only
me too.
human.
Me too.
But
Yeah.
I'm not going to flat out lie to people
Right. Right.
and
Yeah.
tell them what I think they want to hear.
Right. The same here with me, man. Like, I'm not gonna lead my audience that we have on the network astray. Like, I'm not gonna tell you to invest in this and that. Like, cause it goes against my principles. My principles is to speak truth to power, and I can't speak
Yeah,
truth to power while telling you
that's
something I
all
don't
any of
believe
us
in.
can do.
Yeah.
That's all any of us can do, and as long as we keep doing that, we're good.
Yeah.
We may not make any money off of it, but at
Oh no.
least we have our souls. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, so it is getting to be midnight almost, so I'm going to go ahead and close us out. Wish you good night, Andre. Thanks for coming on.
Oh, no
Everyone
problem.
else who's watching, good night, good luck.
Good night, guys.